Good day to everyone. I'm architect Ricardo H. Cisbreño, an OFW from Doha, Qatar, currently a senior architect with Dimensions Engineering Consultant. I have passion in architecture history and classical architecture.
Today we will be talking about the arts of the Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel is a chapel in the Apostolic Palace, the Pope's official residence in Vatican City. Originally known as the Capella Magna, meaning Great Chapel, it takes its name from Pope Sixtus IV, who had it built between 1473 and 1481. Since that time, it has served as a place of both religious and functionary papal activity. Today, it is the site of the Papal Conclave, is a gathering of the College of Cardinals, convened to appoint the Pope of the Catholic Church. Catholics consider the Pope to be the apostolic successor of St. Peter and the earthly head of the Catholic Church. In the conclave, a maximum of 4 ballots are held on each successive day, 2 in each morning and 2 in each afternoon. Before voting in the morning and again before voting in the afternoon, the electors take an oath to obey the rules of the conclave. At the St. Peter's Square, the crowd patiently waits for the result of the conclave. Black smoke in the Sistine Chapel, indicating there has been no 2/3 majority necessary for a papal election. White smoke in the Sistine Chapel, indicating that a pope has been elected by the College of Cardinals. The chapel's fame lies mainly in the frescoes that decorate its interior, most particularly the Sistine Chapel ceiling and the Last Judgment, both by Michaelangelo. Frescoes is a technique of mural painting executed upon freshly laid wet lime plaster. Water is used as the vehicle for the dry powder pigment to merge with the plaster, and with the setting of the plaster, the painting becomes an integral part of the wall. The word fresco is derived from the Italian word fresco, meaning fresh. The downside is that any mistake means removing the lime plaster and redo all over again. The chapel is about 35 meters long and 14 meters wide, with the ceiling rising to about 20 meters above the main floor. Its exterior is unadorned by architectural or decorative details, as is common in many Italian churches of the medieval and Renaissance eras. During the reign of Sixtus IV, a team of Renaissance painters including Sandro Botticelli, Pietro Perugino, PreZ-RiQ, Domenico Ghirlandaio, and Cosimo Rosselli created a series of frescoes depicting the life of Moses and the life of Christ. They were completed in 1482, and on 15 August 1483, Sixtus IV celebrated the first Mass in the Sistine Chapel for the Feast of the Assumption, during which the chapel was consecrated and dedicated to the Virgin Mary. The southern wall is decorated with the stories of Moses, 1481 to 1481, Sable, 1482. Starting from the altar, they include Moses leaving for Egypt by Pietro Perugino and assistants, The Trials of Moses by Sandro Botticelli and his workshop, The Crossing of the Red Sea by Cosimo Rosselli, Domenico Ghirlandaio, or Biagio di Antonio Tucci, Descent from Mount Sinai by Cosimo Rosselli, or Piero de Cosimo, Punishment of the Rebels by Sandro Botticelli, Testament, and Death of Moses by Luca Signorelli, or Bartolomeo della Gatta. The northern wall houses the stories of Jesus, dating to 1481 to 1482. They include Baptism of Christ by Pietro Perugino and assistants, Temptations of Christ by Sandro Botticelli, Vocation of the Apostles by Domenico Ghirlandaio, The Sermon on the Mount, attributed to Cosimo Rosselli, The Delivery of the Keys by Pietro Perugino, The Last Supper by Cosimo Rosselli. Eastern wall, there are 2 frescoes on the east wall of the Sistine Chapel. The Resurrection of Christ, Disputation over Moses' body, Sistine Chapel ceiling, This was the ceiling as it may have looked before Michelangelo painted it. The original ceiling painting was by Pier Matteo d'Amelia and had depicted stars over a blue background like the ceiling of the Arena Chapel, decorated by Giotto at Padua. In 158, Pope Julius II commissioned Michelangelo to paint the on-ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel ceiling, painted by Michelangelo between 158 and 1512, is one of the most renowned artworks of the High Renaissance. Central to the ceiling decoration are 9 scenes from the Book of Genesis, the most famous of which is the creation of Adam, the hands of God and Adam being reproduced in countless imitations. The complex design includes multiple groups of individual figures, both clothed and nude, allowing Michelangelo to fully demonstrate his skill in depicting a wide variety of human poses, and has since served as an enormously influential reference for other artists. Along the center of the ceiling are 9 scenes depicting the story of creation, the downfall of humanity, and the story of Noah as told in the Book of Genesis. Now, for the first day of creation, God divides light from darkness. This was the final narrative to be painted, detail of the figure of God, which was painted by Michelangelo in a single day and may represent Michelangelo himself, painting the ceiling. To the left, God creates the earth, and to the right, God creates the sun to light the day, and the moon to light the night. God separating the waters from the heavens. The creation of Adam shows God giving life to the first man, while Eve, the first woman, watches from beneath his cloak. The creation of Eve is based on a sculpture in Bologna. The downfall of Adam and Eve and their expulsion from the Garden of Eden. 2 episodes are combined in a single frame. Drunkenness of Noah's Ark floats in the background while people struggle to escape the rising water of the Great Flood. Detail from the scene of the Great Flood. After the flood sacrifice of Noah, the prophets of Israel and the sibyls of the pagan world foretold the coming of the Messiah. Both have been included by Michelangelo as a sign that the Messiah, Jesus Christ, was to come not just for the Jews, but also for the Gentiles, non-Jewish people. Daniel, Joel, Zechariah, Jeremiah lamenting the fall of Jerusalem. Ezekiel hears the word of the Lord. The prophet Isaiah, the prophet Jonah, the Cumaean Sibyllum, the Erythraean Sibyllum, the Persian Sibyl, the Delphic Sibyl, the Libyan Sibyl Pendentus, the four-corner Pendentus show violent episodes in which the people of Israel were rescued from enemies or from their own sinful ways. The brazen serpent, Haman's punishment, David and Goliath, Judith and Holofernes. Spandrels above the windows are a series of families with young children. The children may represent particular children who are mentioned in the Bible, such as Isaac and Samuel. The composition of many of the pictures is similar to that found in depictions of the Holy Family resting on the flight into Egypt. In the salmon spandrel, a woman is making a garment while her child looks on. In the osseous spandrel, a young child is attempting to breastfeed from his exhausted-looking mother, who clasps a round loaf in her hand. Jesse's spandrel, a young woman who may represent the Virgin Mary, gazes out with a prophetic expression. The Ezekiel spandrel shows a small child gazing out of the picture. Western Wall, the Last Judgment, between 158 and 1512. Under the patronage of Pope Julius II, Michelangelo painted the chapel ceiling, a project that changed the course of Western art and is regarded as one of the major artistic accomplishments of human civilization. In a different political climate, after the sack of Rome, he returned and, between 1535 and 1541, painted the Last Judgment for Popes Clement VII and Paul III. The fame of Michelangelo's paintings has drawn multitudes of visitors to the chapel since they were revealed 5 centuries ago. covering the whole altar wall of the Sistine Chapel in Vatican City. It is a depiction of the second coming of Christ and the final and eternal judgment by God of all humanity. The dead rise and descend to their fates as judged by Christ, who is surrounded by prominent saints. Mary and Christ. The central group around Christ. A group of the saved, the damned in the air. Charon and his boat of damned souls. The resurrection of the dead angels at the top left. One with a crown of thorns. Saint Bartholomew displaying his flayed skin with the face of Michaelangelo, angels trumpeting, and one with the book of life, Saint Peter with his keys. The damned soul alone. The cross upon which Christ was crucified. Top left, the pillar on which Christ was scourged. Giorgio Vasari on Michelangelo's frescoes in the Sistine Chapel. This work has been and truly is a beacon of our art, and it has brought such benefit and enlightenment to the art of painting that it was sufficient to illuminate a world which for so many hundreds of years had remained in the state of darkness. And to tell the truth, anyone who is a painter no longer needs to concern himself about seeing innovations and inventions, new ways of painting poses, clothing on figures, and various awe-inspiring details. For Michelangelo gave to this work all the perfection that can be given to such details. Without having seen the Sistine Chapel, one can form no appreciable idea of what one man is capable of achieving. Johann Wolfgang Goethe, 23 August 1787. So these are the arts of the Sistine Chapel. A thing of beauty is a treasure forever.